what pages do you embed the GMBs for local SEO? For example, a local personal injury lawyer. For example, this is Figma. This is a design platform that we're using to design a website. This is an attorney website that we're redesigning for them. And you can see here he has 2 locations and we're putting them on the homepage. So this is going to be a GBP embed. This is also listing out the name, phone number. This will link to the page, which I'll show you in a second. And then it's linking out to his Yelp, Facebook, and the reviews in Google+. So we're aggregating this on the homepage. And then we're also designing location pages. So this is the Augusta page. And on this page, there's also a GBP embed, also just a ton of information to get it to rank. So here's a GBP embed here, and it's got the office hours. This is going to be a map embed. I don't love this design, to be honest with you. This is just what the client wanted. So that's how we're doing it. We're putting the GBPs on the homepage and then internally linking to the location pages. And then also on all of the practice area pages, this is the practice area page. ATV accidents, you can see we're pulling through the reviews here. You scroll down and you've got the GBP also embed here. So it's basically going on all the locations go on the homepage, and we're internally linking to the location page. So that will be the subfolder page. So again, like we talked about yesterday, like /Savannah/Miami, that's the location page that I just showed you. That location or locations are embedded on that page. And then the practice area page, because we're doing ATV, boating, car accident, Savannah, car accident, Atlanta, right? His 2 locations. Those then each also get the individual GBPs embed on that as well. How important are photos for the GMB listing? I believe regular posting of photos is helpful with ranking. I'm a big activity guy. Like I said, I think that especially if we're talking about the ability to use AI now to speed up or automate tasks or lower cost team members, offshore, what have you, to do the work, especially when you have a process, I think the more that you can do, the better. Is it a direct ranking factor? No, I don't think so. I think that would be probably lower on the list, but I think that, again, in terms of what we talked about yesterday, building an active presence, showing Google that you are a active, valid part of the community and you're creating content and you want to be shown there, I think it can't hurt. And I also think it helps with conversion, because as a consumer point of view, people that are searching maps and local, they come to these and they want to see pictures. They want to see videos when they're making a decision between different businesses. So I think the more that you can do to help, that will help. How do you do keyword research for local SEO? It's very easy. We actually just have a singular document. Let me see if I can pull it up. Again, we know exactly what the keywords are that we're going to be using ahead of time because we've done it a million times. Again, that's why specialization is so important, because we don't have to do keyword research. We don't have to do keyword research because it's already done ahead of time. And we know, like when we take on a new injury attorney, we know all those keywords. We're basically just finding and replacing all the keywords in that list. So if you don't have that, I always suggest just using Ahrefs or SEMrush, whichever keyword tool that you prefer. And honestly, guys, local keyword research is the easiest thing because it's all bottom funnel stuff. It's all just action-based keywords, meaning people that are searching directly for the service, the product, the practice area, whatever it is that your client offers, modified by location. I just like to go state right at the top. So for example, we work with clients that have 3 or more locations. So the location page is usually state page. So Florida, it's a state page. And then underneath that, then we have the cities that they operate in with the verified GB. And those will interlink the city pages, which then also have the practice area pages underneath them. Stick to where you're verified. That's my opinion. I know a lot of people out there, yeah, do keyword research and blow it out and do 33130, like zip codes and like counties. Those are doorway pages. I think it's garbage. I think it's bad for your user experience. I know that Google doesn't want to rank it. And again, everything that we talked about yesterday, you can't rank those pages in the Maps pack. So what's the point? How do you report local SEO to your clients? What tools, templates do you use? So we use Agency Analytics. What's really cool about this is it has native integrations. All this stuff comes within it. You just have to sync your account with it. So we're doing a lot of Google ads for this client. Let's go back to like October of last year. I think that's when we're spending a lot of money. So this is looking at last period. That's fine. Okay. So it pulls through Google ads. And again, this is all just drag and drop stuff right here. It's very simple. And what's cool about this too is you can click on each one of these tiles and it brings up the inherent dashboard that already has here. So essentially what you're building on top of is a layer. It's just a data layer that you can then click deeper into to see all this stuff. So we see Google ads, we have all this reports here. Again, when I talk about we keep the main thing, we keep the main thing. We care about conversions, the cost. This is for a roofing company. SEO, so Google Business Profile. So when someone's asking about how do we track leads here, it's Google Business Profile. We didn't have what converts set up on the website at this time, but if you click on this is really good because we have this filtered, so you can see the sources here. So this is call tracking from what converts, Google cost per click, Google organic. So we're doing a lot of paid search, we're doing essays, we're doing SEO, we're doing a lot. And then you can see that everything pulls through here and you can actually see the length and the location and where it came from, Google phone number. So we've been getting more and more into auditing these calls for our clients, because a lot of clients are like, yeah, no, we didn't get any leads last month. I'm like, no, there was 25 phone calls. We see them, we audited them, you just didn't pick up. So we can see these are all being picked up because this client is on point. They have a huge sales team. But we can also then filter them by duration. On this report, you can see it's calls that are more than 3 minutes. So website forms, this is pulling from Google Analytics, and then local service ads, they're not running any at this time. And then now we're tracking GSC down here, and then just like links. So this is a pretty straightforward one for this client. We have ones that are a little bit more robust. Let's look at Gun. So this one, he has 2 locations. This is total leads tracked up here, organic search, total conversions that you see, direct. This is pulling from Google Analytics. This is Google Ads. He's not currently running any Google Ads. You can see this. He is now local service ads, and then Google Business. So we have this broken down by office location. So Atlanta office, Kennesaw office. So 27 calls, 7 calls from October of that month. And you can see the impressions picking up. If you click on these, it goes to a Google Business dashboard, and there's all sorts of other stuff in here. You can see reviews. You can see posts if there was anything done during this time. So this is when we signed this client actually in October. What is your sales process for selling local SEO? It's the same process we normally follow. Actually, Pillar 5 is our sales training. Same process. Local SEO, we just add as another sprint on top of that. How did you expand your clients' local visibility to such a wide radius as shown in the local Falcon screenshots promoting this event? That was a smaller market. I believe that was upstate New York. So that goes in a smaller market like that. It's based on, so one of the unwritten kind of things in the ranking factors is proximity of searching. So if you're in Miami, Miami's a very densely populated city. You probably got a 2x2 radius in Miami because there's 750,000 people crammed into that 2x2 radius. And there's also a lot more competition inside of that. But if you're in smaller markets, that's going to expand based on the fact that there's less competition and that people searching from 9 miles away are still going to trigger those results because there's just less businesses in there. So that one was from there. How is local SEO service priced? Is it possible to get recurring revenue out of it, or does this service basically end when the desired ranking is achieved? It is 100% recurring. It is 100% does not end when the rank is achieved. That's actually when you should be getting paid the most if you think about it. So Aaron, what I always teach, I talked about it a little bit yesterday, and we'll talk about this much more on Monday. You should be pricing not based on the level of effort. It's not that much effort to do it, especially the people that you're going to pay to do it. It's not going to cost that much. It's the outcome. So that's why you shouldn't be working with gyms and coffee shops and restaurants, because they're just not going to make that much money off of what you do. You look at a gym, for example, in an industry like gyms, where that's a low ticket, they're only charging $100 on the high end, $200 a month for a gym. Most gyms are like $50 a month. The amount of clients and customers that you have to bring in for them on a monthly basis is so high that they're probably not going to see an ROI unless you charge them like $1,000 a month or $500 a month. That's why people like poo on local SEO, because, oh, I can't charge that much for it. Yeah, because you're working with a business that can't pay you because you're not getting enough customers for them. But same thing with like a coffee shop. How much is a new customer worth through a coffee shop? $10. Maybe it's recurring over time, blah, 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 whatever. But for the most part, that's also not how people aren't really using the Maps pack to find gyms. Now, if we look at roofing contractors, plastic surgeons, med spas, attorneys, doctors, dentists, the value of their client is in the thousands. So you might only have to bring in one customer client per month for them to be profitable on your service. It's not about how much time and effort you're putting into this. It's about the value that they're getting out of it. And that's where you want to price. And that's why our pricing starts at $5,000 a month, because for all of our clients in the law firm space, if we just get them one client a month, they're going to make money. If we get them 2, they're profitable. And based on the volume, we can drive 20, 30, 40, 50 phone calls a month to them. They had better damn sure close at least one of those. That's why it's so easy for us to sell this, because I can show them the numbers and the data, and I can walk them through what I just walked you through. It's a no-brainer for them. So we're pricing not based on the number of hours. If that's how you do it, throw that out right away. We're not pricing based on the number of deliverables, throw that out right away. We're pricing based on the results that they can expect as a result of our services. So once they're ranked, even if you're doing nothing, they should still be happy to pay you because they should be making a ton of money. And who would want to rock that boat? Do you typically build tier 2, tier 3 links? No, I don't. I don't believe in it. I think it's a scam. I think the people that are telling you that are trying to get you to buy their tier 2 and tier 3 links. Because I know that a lot of people talk about it, but we're running a business here, a professional services business here. And anything that is just feels a little bit, maybe we shouldn't be doing this, is really not what we're doing here. And you just don't need to. If you just get good links, then you really don't have to worry about supporting link building and stuff like that. How do you find solid prospects to sell SEO? They come to me. We market. I create videos. I create content on social media, and we run a lot of advertisements and we bring them to us. So my main source of leads is what we call a VSL funnel, video sales letter. I put together a 10-minute video that says, hey, attorneys, I know you're struggling with leads. I know you've been burned by agencies. Here's the best way for you to generate leads. And I walk them through like an SEO campaign. And then I tell them to book a call to action. They book a call. And that's how we get prospects. And that's how we sell SEO. And our close rate on that is fantastic. So that's how we do it. But I would say if you're just getting started, you should be posting on social media every day. This is the biggest pet peeve of mine. We get asked so much about lead generation, and I do private consulting with a lot of agencies, and they're like, I need help generating leads. I'm like, okay, let's look at your LinkedIn profile. They're like, yeah, I don't really use LinkedIn. I'm like, okay, show me your Facebook, show me your Twitter, show me your YouTube. Yeah, well, I don't really use any of that. I'm not a big social media person. I'm like, then you don't want to make money. I'm not a big social media person either. I don't have Instagram. I think Instagram is a waste of brain space, but I have business profiles there that we run ads on because it makes money, and that's the game that you have to play now. If you want more leads, look at yourself in the mirror and ask yourself why you're not posting on social media every single day. What do you think about paying for verified reviews? Do not do it. I'm staunchly against it, not because I'm above it, but because it can get you slapped. It can get you penalized. It can get your profile removed. And if a client finds out what you're doing, that's why their asset got removed, and they have to start a new profile, and they might never be able to get verified again. You might not only get fired, but you might be facing a lawsuit because buying reviews is technically illegal. So everyone listening, do not buy reviews. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Thoughts on boutique hotels or short-term rental management companies as a niche? I think the revenue of these companies can afford local SEO, but wondering if users who search are trying to book immediately or browse until they go ready to go on vacation. I have intimate experience with this. My wife actually owns a short-term rental management company, and it's all their bookings come off Airbnb. And so if you were to work with her company, I think that SEO is a good fit. Maybe not local SEO though, because Airbnb is blown up. But what's also happened is that these rental management companies aren't making a ton of money off of it because Airbnb is constantly squeezing them out. It is not a good fit for people looking to book properties, because people looking to book properties are just going straight to VRBO, straight to Airbnb, straight to hotel bookings websites. So SEO is not a good fit for my wife to get clients, or for my wife's clients to get new bookings. But it would be a good fit for you to work with people like my wife to help them get more people that have properties that are looking for short-term rental management companies. Where are you running ads to clients? We're running them pretty much exclusively on Facebook and Instagram. To me, it's about original images versus stock on GBP. Original is always better. We've tested some stuff with AI, but it just looks like AI still. So just ask the client, man. Everyone has a freaking cell phone these days, an iPhone. They should be able to take some good photos. Every staff member should have a picture. Inside office, outside office, cultures, all that type of stuff. The doctor's office with multiple physicians. Google says you can add a profile for each one. Good idea, or better to aggregate reviews under one profile? But otherwise, I'd aggregate reviews under one profile. I manage local listings for a franchise, 100 plus locations, legal entities. One location just moved into the same office as another, and there's no longer showing up in local search. And so far, not able to get re-verified. Any advice on how to get the second one to show up as part of the same franchise, same services, same legal entities? They have different phone numbers, but share the same website, subdomain. Franchise SEOs, it can be a little bit tricky, especially with that many. So with that many GBPs, honestly, you should be able to try and get in touch with I would try and get in touch with somebody at Google. So a lot of the times too, if you just log into the GBP, it will sometimes give you instructions on how to get re-verified, submit a video, submit paperwork. If very rarely is just blacklisted, shut down. And if that's the case, then you're going to have to try and get in touch with somebody at Google. I know it's a pain, but that's going to be the best thing to do. Is posting more frequently helpful to rankings, positions? How often is ideal? No, like I said, it's really much more of a nice to have. I don't expect. Google's actually, from what I saw, potentially removing posts because I think that they don't see the value. Whenever they remove features, it means that there's no value in it. They are removing posts and they're testing pulling in social content instead. It's important to link your social profiles because it'll pull through tweets and Facebook posts. I think that's the direction that they're going. Again, we still do it because I just love having an active profile. I just think that there's value in that, but it's not going to be the thing that pushes you over the edge. If you're like, why aren't I ranking first? Should I create more posts? That's not going to do it. It's a very small needle mover, and it's really more of a client pleaser as well. I would say just do it once a week. There's also tools that you can schedule posts too. So we'll batch 15 using AI, ChatGPT. You can schedule them out so you never have to actually touch it. Are there big different disadvantages in terms of ranking it first in the Maps pack for those who don't have an office compared to those who don't have a physical office? But you can't rank in the Maps pack without a physical office. So you have to have a physical space. It doesn't have to be an office, but there has to be a physical edifice to get in the Maps pack. And that's what Google's shutting down nonstop. You can't use Regis, you can't use WeWork, you can't use virtual offices, you can't use PO boxes. You got to have an actual physical office, and you might be able to get it verified. And this is a big risk too. I see so many people, I call it Facebook group SEOs, but they're like pushing how to get verified, fake verifications. I'm like, do not do that, especially if you're working with clients, because you're going to tell them that you're going to do it, and then it's just going to get ripped down in 6 months. And then they spent all this money. They literally poured their money into an asset that they don't have anymore. So you have to do it the right way. There's no shortcuts. There's no hacks. There's no black hat stuff here. You have to get an actual physical office, but it's worth it because, again, the $600 a month in rent is well worth the amount of fruit that office can produce in terms of leads if it's for the right vertical. How do you do with 2 local clients in the same city? They're competing with each other. If they are the exact same business competing after the exact same keywords, it's probably in your best interest to not take them on. Most of our clients do ask about a non-compete agreement, but I just tell them we don't have anyone in the space, and if we do, then we won't work with them. But at the end of the day, if you already have them signed, you might as well just do it. One of them is going to beat the other one. And if you're really good at it, then there's nothing wrong with 1 and 2. 1 and 2 is still pretty good results, but it's a bit of a conflict of interest. I'm not going to lie to you. Do you still serve multiple clients in the same location? One of my clients recommended someone else in their network finds the same. Yes and no. So let's say, for example, we have 2 personal injury attorneys in Miami. A lot of the times we're going to that client being like, hey, can we specialize in trucking accidents or car accidents? And we don't tell them because we have clients, because there's no overlap when we do that. It's definitely a conflict of interest. It's probably more of a question about how you want to handle that and how your existing client would feel about it, because it's definitely a conflict of interest if you take on 2 clients in the same area with the exact same service. But like I said, at the end of the day, that client's probably going to pay somebody else too. So you're going to be competing against that person. Might as well be you. What are the best practices for how many keywords we should tell a business? We tell them it's the whole keyword universe. So essentially all the keywords that people are searching for related to yours, we're going to optimize for you. I don't do the 10 keywords a month thing. I think it's asinine, because then the rising tide raises all ships in this business. And if all those variations of other keywords are going to rank too. So we just tell them we're finding the whole universe. To what extent are you customizing the content for each location so they're not all identical? There's a difference between Miami and Fort Lauderdale, for example, and we want you to capture the nuance of that. What does that mean? Miami is primarily Spanish speaking. There's different food, there's different cultures, there's different geographies, all these different things. We try and impart as much knowledge as we can on the writer to customize and make those pages as locally flavored as possible, if that makes sense. Percentage wise, I would say 60% unique text, because a lot of the stuff is also just like maps. What if a client services 20 states, but they only have 1 physical location and 1 GB? It wouldn't really be a local campaign then. So for example, they're not actually serving clients locally. They have to have a physical location and they have to service people at that location. That's really what it is. It doesn't have to be actually, let me rephrase that, because people don't have to go into the office anymore, but the service has to be tied to that location. So attorneys, for example, only are barred in 1 state. So they have to operate in that state. That's why location is important for them. Plastic surgeons, people have to come into the office for the appointment. They'll make the appointment online, but they have to show up in person or to get the actual work done. When location shopping for satellite offices, are you looking at total number of competitors and population of the competitors? So what we're looking at is population density. We're looking at like the city limits. We're looking at the competitors. We're looking at doing competitive analysis of who's there, what we think is the time to rank, and then search volume. It's not that complex. And then we'll also use LoopNet to look at some locations and get an idea of what the price per square foot is. And then they'll just have to use a realtor to get that stuff signed. Very basic stuff. But the clients love it because it's like they never thought about this stuff. They're just like, where's the shiniest office location that I can get? But this is not to work out of it. It's just really to generate leads. What type of link building helps the GBP? Is it website links? Should you use any links to the GBP? All the website, because all of your kind of like citations and profiles are going to link to the GBP. I've never really tested that much either, but we always link to the website because we're also trying to rank content as well. I have a client that just opened up a new location in a new city. Would you add the city to the GBP for the new city? If so, XYZ widgets of Miami instead of just XYZ widgets, or would you worry about the listing getting suspended? It's worth testing. For the most part, Google rips them down. If it's not part of the actual business's name, then they'll change it for you. And sometimes they can lock it and get it suspended. I like to let them, if it's new, don't play with fire. Just leave it as it is and don't start putting locations in there until it's seasoned with reviews maybe, or you're really struggling to get it ranked. Are links and citations 2 different things? Yes, you should do both. They are 2 different things. Definitely 2 different things. How many phone calls can we expect for every 1,000 local searches for position one in the Google Local Business Pack? It's a good question, but it depends on the vertical. There are certain industries that are phone call verticals and other ones that are traffic verticals. HVAC is a phone call vertical. I would probably say that agencies, for example, are a traffic vertical. I don't even have a phone number because I don't want people calling and they don't call. It just depends on what that vertical is. What's the top 5 questions to ask leads to get the right product and offer value estimation, product offer and value estimation? This is why specialization is so important. If you're working with the same type of clientele over and over again, I know how much I'm going to make them. If you're just beginning, I would say just what's a client worth to you? Walk me through your revenue model. How do you make money? How much do you charge? What's your profit margins? That's how you learn about the business model and understand it. So that's what I would do if I were you. Do you reach out to potential clients more than they tend to find you? What was your strategy to get clients? Many don't want to hear from a cold call. I have never, they all come to me. I believe in marketing. I'm a marketer. I run a marketing company. I believe in creating content. I believe in creating value. This is how you make money personally. Nobody wants cold call. It works, absolutely, but it's not my cup of tea. I believe in selling through value. I believe in making people come to me. That's how I raise prices. That's how we create demand. And we're all marketers here too. I know a lot of you are salespeople, don't get me wrong, but you're marketers, you're running a marketing company, you should be marketing your business. Don't worry, we're going to talk more about that as we get through the blueprint here. For a flooring store that is a single showroom, would it work to open an office in a town 10 miles away if they don't have a physical presence? If it's a flooring store that you need to get people in the showroom for, it doesn't make sense. You're going to have to rely on ads, Facebook ads, and pay-per-click ads in targeted locations will bring people in. But you also have to keep in mind, what's the limit on how far people are willing to travel? And that's something the conversation to have with a business owner. Somebody asked about a 30-mile radius. 30 miles is insane. Unless you have a very specific type of product, historic cars or something that people are willing to drive that far for. But if you're a furniture store, I'm not driving 30 miles to a furniture store. So you might be actually pushing a boulder uphill in a sense, if that's the case. Can you go over pricing structure for SEO and ads? You said you charge $5,000 a month. That includes everything management-wise, and they do ad spend on top, etc. Yeah, so we charge $2,500 a month for pay-per-click ads, flat fee. We'll scale. If they spend over $25,000 a month, then we'll start taking, I believe, 12%. And they have to spend, so that $2,500 a month for ads does not include ad spend. So ad spend goes directly to Google, and that does not impact our SEO retainer. Our SEO retainer starts at $5,000 a month, but can scale up depending on how many locations that they have. We do not use tracking numbers. We just use what converts. Takes care of all that for us. On agency analytics, do you show the current month, or do you enable comparison from last month? We'll enable comparison mode. It's a little bit different. Our clients don't check this stuff. These law firms are not really digging into the analytics like that. We talk to them maybe once a month, and we have to hold their hand walking them through it. So it's really up to what your client wants to do. If you're working with a little bit more technically savvy clients, and you're doing a good job for them and you want them to see it, absolutely enable it. You can do that. It definitely falls into the productized bucket. If you go to our website, weberst.org, you'll see how we have that. But what I find though is that, again, it just depends on the vertical. A lot of these law firms, it just doesn't really land with them. If I was selling to you guys with agencies, I would do that because you have a level of understanding about what's included. You can self-select. You'd be like, okay, I need this. I don't want this. I know what all these things mean. I'll pay you $2,500 a month for this. But it just depends on the client. If you're working with contractors and home services guys, they're going to see that. You need to have a conversation with them. You need to walk them through it. So it really just depends on who you're selling to. Just be aware of that. What's your link building protocol when dealing with a difficult competitive market? We just build links. We use vendors. We have partnerships with Loganics. We use a lot of their links. And then we have our own database of links that we'll hit up as well and use. So it doesn't really matter whether it's competitive or non-competitive. It's really more just a volume thing. If it's more competitive, you're going to need more links and probably higher quality links. And that's just a matter of working with those types of sites. LSAs versus regular Google ads. LSAs in theory are amazing because they sit at the very top of the SERPs and they're pulling from the profile, which has reviews and pictures, but there's always issues with getting them to impress and getting them to show up, which is crazy and weird. Google's just got to fix that product. Google ads are always a surefire thing. It's just the cost of them that can get a little bit out of control. You just have to spend a lot on Google ads now. You're not getting away with a $2,000 a month on Google ads anymore, unless you're in a very non-competitive niche, which in that case, go nuts. Recommendations for industries that can't solicit reviews. I work with therapists and some of the boards state prohibit soliciting the review. Interesting. I didn't know that. How do I convince someone to use my services if I don't have a case study or previous client? You come up with an offer and you just got to sell them, basically, is my best response to that. When we first started working with legal, we had no case studies. We had no previous clients, and they did not ask us for that one time. Case studies, guys, are, I think, the biggest misconception in the agency space. People think that you have to have 3 case studies in order to work with a single vertical. It's not the case. We have over 40, maybe 50 active law firm clients right now. Not a single one has asked for a reference. Not a single one has asked for what previous clients we've worked for. Why is that? Because we're really good with marketing. Our marketing says, We understand what your problem is. You have a problem generating leads. If you watch this 10-minute video, it's going to help you out to understand why and how to fix it. After they watch that 10-minute video, there's a link to book a call. They book a call with me. I get them on a call and it's a wrap because I'm having conversations about them. At the end of the day, guys, they don't care about you. They don't care about your agency. They don't care about your business. They don't care about your clients. They just don't. They care about themselves. They care about the problem that they have, which is not SEO. It's a lack of customers. If you can prove to them, if you can convince them that you can help them get more customers, then all that stuff goes out the door. It just does. There's case studies, agencies only. I tell my law firm clients all the time, I'm like, the only people that care about billboards is other lawyers. Nobody sees them. Nobody calls off them. They don't do anything aside from drain your budget and fill your ego. Case studies are the same thing in the agency space. The only people that cares about case studies are ourselves for sharing it on LinkedIn and showing our traffic gains. They just don't care about it. I don't think we have any on our website right now either. So they care about themselves. They care about the problem that they have, and they care about you being able to position yourself as a solution for that and being able to clearly communicate that and demonstrate a clear path to ROI over an acceptable time period. That is what matters. When creating offers, do you see it as a mistake to offer any sort of short guarantee around your services? No, I don't see that as a mistake at all, as long as you can back it up. One thing that we were testing for a while, we've tested with law firms about offering guarantees and free services, and it doesn't work with them. It actually backfires because I think it's a scam, because they've been so jaded by agencies before in the past that have not delivered. I said something like, can we do your PPC for a month for free? And nobody took me up on it, but 8 people responded and said, I'm unsubscribing because you're a scammer. So you just have to be very careful. But one guarantee that you can make, right, it has to be in a market where they don't know any better, is you can guarantee leads by using LSAs, because LSAs, you pay per phone call. So if you're really struggling and you want to make a guarantee, you can guarantee leads and just use LSAs. But it has to be in an industry where they don't know any better. Attorneys know that it's pay per lead, so we couldn't use that. But if you can make a guarantee, do it. You just have to be able to back it up. And don't do some guarantee where they run ads as the guarantee and then you get into their sales funnel and they're like, oh, yeah. That's if you spend $100,000 and you don't check off every single box that we'd like. They put you through this crazy rigmarole because they think that they can still close you. Don't do that. But if you have a guarantee that you can actually back up, then absolutely. There's nothing wrong with guarantees as long as you back it up. Any trick to enhance brand mentions, maybe CTR manipulation. Guys, I will never recommend any of that stuff. It's all garbage. It doesn't work. I don't care what people in the Facebook groups are telling you. It's not what we do here at The Blueprint. I'm here to make you real money, sustainable money, business money, to build an actual business, a brand and reputation on. You don't want to build your brand and reputation like that. So the only way to enhance brand mentions is to do PR. It's to get out-of-home advertising up, and it's to build an actual brand. That's what I want you to focus on, quite. I will never, ever recommend anything that I think is going to put you, your business, or your client's business in jeopardy. It's just not worth it. It's a cheap trick, and I know people talk about it in other places, but it's not what we do here. It's not what we stand for.